Your mind is not tired because you think too much. It is tired because your nafs refuses to release what it cannot control. A message you cannot force, a future you cannot predict, a person you cannot change, a past you cannot rewrite. Yet your mind keeps returning to them, searching for a peace it never finds. The Awliya understood that this restlessness has a deeper root, and they turned the heart toward one beautiful name of Allah, As-Salam. But here is the secret. As-Salam does not begin by making your problems disappear. It begins by changing the part of you that allows those problems to own your peace. Stay until the 7th lesson, because once you understand what is actually disturbing your heart, you may realize the problem was never only outside you. Subscribe to Whispers of the Awliya, and let us begin with the first hidden thief of your peace. Lesson 1. Your nafs makes you suffer before anything has even happened. The Awliya understood a frightening truth about the nafs. It does not need a real problem to steal your peace. Sometimes it only needs a possibility. One message goes unanswered, and within minutes your mind has created rejection. Someone's tone changes slightly, and you begin wondering what you did wrong. Tomorrow contains one uncertain event, yet tonight your mind has already imagined 5 ways it could destroy everything. Nothing has actually happened, but your heart is beating as if the disaster has already arrived. This is one of the hidden ways the nafs controls you. It takes something that might happen and makes your heart suffer as though it already has. Look carefully at how much pain comes not from reality, but from anticipation. You fear losing something you still have. You fear a conversation that has not happened. You fear being rejected before anyone has rejected you. You fear a future that Allah has not even allowed you to enter yet. And here is the question the Awliya would force the nafs to face. Why are you suffering today for a tomorrow that belongs to Allah? The nafs will answer, I am preparing you, but sometimes it is not preparation. Sometimes it is simply fear pretending to be wisdom. Real preparation leads to action. You identify what can be done, you do it, and then you entrust the outcome to Allah. But the nafs keeps circling the same possibility without producing anything except exhaustion. What if they leave? What if I fail? What if the money runs out? What if this door closes? What if something goes wrong? And after every what if, another what if appears. This is why you can lie in a comfortable bed while your body feels as though it is standing in the middle of a battlefield. The battlefield is not outside. The nafs has built it inside you. This is where the first secret of As-Salam begins. As-Salam, As-Salam. When you remember Allah as As-Salam, you are reminding the restless heart that peace does not require knowledge of everything that will happen next. Your nafs wants certainty about tomorrow. But Allah never gave you tomorrow to carry today. Your nafs wants to know every outcome, but Allah did not make knowledge of the unseen your responsibility. Your responsibility is much simpler. Do what is right in the moment you have been given. Make wise preparation where preparation is possible. Make du'a and entrust what you cannot control to Allah. This is where As-Salam becomes more than something repeated by the tongue. It becomes a command to the heart. Come back from tomorrow. Come back from the imaginary conversation. Come back from the rejection that has not happened. Come back from the disaster your mind has created. Come back to the moment Allah has actually placed you in. Because something powerful happens when you ask yourself, is this happening right now, or is my nafs making me experience something that has not happened? Sometimes that single question exposes the entire illusion. You realize the person has not rejected you. You only fear rejection. You have not failed. You only fear failure. You have not lost your provision. You only fear losing it. The future has not collapsed. You have simply visited a frightening future inside your imagination and returned carrying its pain. The Awliya understood that the nafs becomes stronger when every fearful thought receives your full attention, but not every thought deserves to become a belief. Not every possibility deserves your fear, and not every battle appearing in your mind was ever given to you to fight. So when the mind begins running ahead of you, do not run behind it. Stop. Remember Allah and say, Ya Salam. Then make this dua, Ya Salam, Salim Galbi min khawfi ma lam yat. O As-Salam, protect my heart from fearing what has not yet come. Then ask yourself one final question. What has Allah actually asked me to carry today? Carry that, not next month. Not every possible disaster. Not another person's hidden intentions. Not a future that exists only inside your imagination. Just what Allah has placed before you now. Because the first transformation of Ya Salam is this. The Nafs makes you live through pain before it arrives. But remembrance teaches the heart to stop suffering imaginary tomorrows and return to Allah today. Lesson 2. Your Nafs loses peace when it tries to control other people. The Awliya understood that one of the fastest ways to lose inner peace is to make your peace depend on another person's behavior. You want them to reply. You want them to understand. You want them to apologize. You want them to choose you. You want them to stop changing. And the more you need them to behave a certain way, the more power they gain over your inner state. Then one silence ruins your evening. One delayed message creates fear. One criticism stays in your mind for hours. One person's mood becomes the weather of your heart. This is where the Nafs becomes trapped. It says, if they change, I will feel better. If they understand me, I will finally relax. If they apologize, I will have peace. But the Awliya understood something deeper. If your peace requires another person to become different first, then your peace is no longer in your hands. This is where you return to. Ya Salam, Ya Salam. The remembrance of As-Salam teaches the heart that you can care deeply about people without making them responsible for your entire inner stability. You can want an apology without making your healing wait for it. You can want understanding without begging to be understood. You can want someone to stay without believing their departure would destroy your entire life. That is not coldness. That is spiritual balance. The Nafs wants to control people because control feels safer than uncertainty. But people have their own fears, weaknesses, choices, and limits. You can advise them, speak honestly, set boundaries, forgive when appropriate, and walk away when necessary. But you cannot force another heart to become what you need. The Awliya understood that peace returns when the servant separates what is theirs to do from what belongs to another person. Your part is sincerity. Their response belongs to them. Your part is clear communication. Their understanding belongs to them. Your part is good character. Their opinion belongs to them. Your part is to protect your dignity. Their choice to stay or leave belongs to them. This distinction is powerful because it stops the Nafs from turning every relationship into a battlefield of control. So when someone disappoints you, pause before reacting and ask, do I need to respond, or does my ego simply need them to behave differently? That question can save you from many unnecessary arguments. Then say, Ya Salam, and make this dua, Ya Salam. Salim Galbi min at-ta'alluqi bi ridhan nas. O As-Salam, protect my heart from becoming attached to people's approval. The second transformation of Ya Salam is this. You stop trying to control everyone around you, and you begin protecting the peace within you, because real peace does not begin when every person finally understands you. It begins when you no longer need everyone to. Lesson 3. Ya Salam teaches you to stop living inside yesterday. The Awliya understood that some people are not exhausted by what is happening now. They are exhausted by what happened before. A conversation ended months ago, but you still replay it. Someone hurt you, and your mind keeps returning to the exact words. You made a mistake, and instead of learning from it, the Nafs keeps dragging you back into shame. The event is over, but inside you, it is still happening. This is how the past steals the peace of the present. The Nafs says, think about it one more time. Maybe you missed something. Maybe if you replay it enough, you will finally understand. But the Awliya knew there is a difference between reflection and imprisonment. Reflection asks, "What can I learn?" Imprisonment asks the same painful question again and again, without producing anything except heaviness. This is where you return to. Ya Salam, Ya Salam. The remembrance of As-Salam teaches the heart to make peace with what can no longer be rewritten. If you made a mistake, repent. If you owe someone an apology, give it. If you can repair something, repair it. But once you have done what belongs to you, do not let the Nafs convince you that punishing yourself forever is the same as becoming better. Sometimes the ego keeps reopening the wound because it cannot accept that the story ended without giving it the ending it wanted. You wanted the apology, you wanted the explanation, you wanted to be understood, you wanted to say one more thing, but not every chapter gives perfect closure. The Awliya understood that peace sometimes begins when you stop demanding that yesterday become different. Say, Ya Salam, and ask yourself, what is the lesson I need to keep, and what pain do I need to stop carrying? That question can separate wisdom from suffering. You keep the lesson, you release the replay. You keep the boundary, you release the bitterness. You keep the repentance, you release the shame that tells you Allah cannot still guide you. Then make this dua, Ya Salam, anzilis sakinata fi qalbi wa a'inni ala tarki ma madha. O As-Salam, place tranquility in my heart and help me release what has passed. The third transformation of Ya Salam is this. The Nafs keeps dragging yesterday into today, but remembrance teaches the heart to take the lesson, leave the prison, and return to Allah, because your past may explain part of your pain, but it does not have to own your peace. Lesson 4. The Nafs keeps moving peace, somewhere you have not reached yet. The Awliya understood one of the most dangerous promises of the Nafs. It keeps telling you, just get this one thing, and then you will finally have peace. When you are struggling financially, it says, when I have more money, I will relax. When you are alone, it says, when I find the right person, my heart will become peaceful. When you are ignored, it says, when people finally recognize my value, I will feel complete. When one problem disappears, it whispers, now fix this other thing, and then you can rest. But have you noticed what happens? The destination keeps moving. You receive something you once begged for, feel relief for a while, and then the Nafs discovers another absence, another comparison, another fear, another desire. Yesterday you said, if only I had this. Today you have it. Yet the heart is already saying, what about that? This is one reason a person can have more than they ever had before and somehow feel less peaceful than when they had very little. The Awliya understood that the Nafs does not naturally say, enough. If you teach it that peace comes after the next worldly achievement, it will keep you running for the rest of your life. And this is where Ya Salam reaches deeper than simply calming an anxious moment. Ya Salam, Ya Salam. You are remembering Allah as As-Salam and slowly exposing the lie that your heart can only rest after your entire dunya has been arranged exactly as you want. Think about it carefully. If your peace begins only when every problem disappears, when exactly will you be peaceful? Because after one problem ends, life may bring another responsibility. After one uncertainty becomes clear, another uncertainty may appear. After one desire is fulfilled, another desire can enter the heart. The dunya was never promised to remain perfectly arranged around you. So if your peace depends entirely upon the dunya becoming peaceful first, the Nafs will always find a reason to postpone your peace. This is the trap. The Nafs says, when everything changes, I will become peaceful. But the Awliya trained the heart to ask, what must change inside me so that every change outside me does not destroy me? That question changes the entire journey. Perhaps you do need more money, work for it. Perhaps you want marriage, ask Allah and pursue it in the right way. Perhaps there is a problem that genuinely needs solving. Solve what you can. Islam does not teach you to abandon responsibility and call it tawakkul. But while you pursue what you need, do not make your peace hostage to receiving it, because otherwise the blessing itself becomes dangerous. You begin saying, I cannot be okay until this happens. I cannot enjoy today until that door opens. I cannot feel grateful until Allah gives me what I am waiting for. And without realizing it, one unanswered desire begins hiding 100 blessings already surrounding you. This is where the Awliya would turn the heart back toward Allah. Ya Salam, O Salam, teach my heart to rest in you before everything around me becomes the way I want. There is an even deeper problem. Sometimes you finally receive the thing you believed would give you peace, and instead of becoming peaceful, you become afraid of losing it. Before receiving it, you were anxious because you did not have it. After receiving it, you become anxious because now you might lose it. The Nafs has simply changed the shape of the fear. You wanted money for security. Now you constantly fear losing the money. You wanted a relationship so you would stop feeling alone. Now you constantly fear the person leaving. You wanted recognition. Now you fear becoming irrelevant. You wanted success. Now you fear failure more than before. So what happened to the peace the Nafs promised you? This is the secret. Anything temporary cannot guarantee permanent peace. It can bring comfort. It can bring joy. It can solve genuine problems. It can be a beautiful blessing from Allah. But it was never meant to become the foundation upon which your entire heart stands. The Awliya understood that when the heart places too much weight upon something temporary, anxiety naturally follows, because somewhere inside you know that temporary things can change. But Allah does not change, so when the Nafs says, I need this before I can breathe, return to Ya Salam. When it says, I need everyone to approve of me, return to Ya Salam. When it says, I will finally live after this problem ends, return to Ya Salam. And remind yourself, I am allowed to seek a better tomorrow without refusing to live the day Allah has given me today. Make this dua, Ya Salam. Uzukum galbi sakinata wal ridha, wa tawakkul alayk, O As-Salam. Grant my heart tranquility, contentment, and reliance upon you. Then ask yourself one uncomfortable question. How many times have I told myself, I will be at peace when? And how many times did that when arrive, only for the Nafs to create another condition? This is the fourth transformation of Ya Salam. The Nafs keeps moving peace into the future, but remembrance teaches the heart that closeness to Allah can begin before the money arrives, before the person changes, before the door opens, and before life becomes perfect. Because perhaps the peace you have been chasing is not waiting at the end of your next achievement. Perhaps your heart has simply forgotten where real peace begins. Lesson 5. Ya Salam teaches the Nafs that winning every argument is not peace. The Awliya understood that some of the loudest storms inside the heart begin with something very small. One sentence, one insult, one misunderstanding, one person speaking to you in a way your ego cannot accept. The event may last only a few seconds, but the Nafs can carry it for hours, days, sometimes years. It keeps replaying the moment. It imagines better replies. It creates conversations that never happened. It thinks, I should have said this, I should have made them understand. I should have shown them who I am. And slowly, one person's words begin occupying more space in your heart than remembrance of Allah. This is where the Awliya understood something powerful. The Nafs does not always want justice. Sometimes it simply wants victory. It wants the other person to admit they were wrong. It wants the final word. It wants to feel superior again. It wants the wound to the ego repaired through someone else's humiliation. And as long as the Nafs keeps demanding that victory, peace stays far away. This is where you return to Ya Salam, Ya Salam. The remembrance of As-Salam forces the heart to ask a difficult question. Do I want peace, or do I want to win? Those are not always the same thing. Sometimes you can win the argument and lose the whole evening. Sometimes you can prove yourself right and still go to sleep with anger in your chest. Sometimes you can make the other person silent and still feel restless inside. The Awliya understood that there are victories the ego celebrates that the soul pays for. This does not mean you should never defend yourself. If someone lies about you, if injustice needs to be addressed, if a boundary has been crossed, there are moments when speaking clearly is necessary. But there is a difference between speaking for truth and speaking because the Nafs cannot tolerate being challenged. The Nafs says, make them regret it. The heart says, will this bring me closer to Allah? The Nafs says, they must know I was right. The heart says, Allah already knows what happened. The Nafs says, do not let them have the last word. The heart says, why does the last word matter so much to me? That final question can expose the ego very quickly. The Awliya understood that some arguments continue long after truth has finished speaking. What remains after that point is often pride. You are no longer explaining, you are competing, you are no longer protecting truth, you are protecting the image you have of yourself. And this is why As-Salam becomes so important. It reminds the heart that inner peace may require giving up a victory the Nafs desperately wants. Sometimes the strongest response is silence, not fearful silence. Not silence because you have nothing to say. Silence because you have realized that every reply will only feed a fire you no longer want inside your heart. That is strength. The Nafs sees silence and says, they won. The Awliya understood something different. If you controlled your Nafs, perhaps you were the one who actually won. This is a deeper victory. It is easy to defeat another person in words. It is much harder to defeat the ego that needs to defeat them. This is why the battle with the Nafs is so subtle. The ego can make revenge look like dignity. It can make pride look like self-respect. It can make anger look like courage. It can make the need to win look like the defense of truth. The Awliya examined intention carefully. Before responding, ask yourself, if nobody ever knew I was right, would I still need to continue this argument? If the answer is yes because something genuinely needs correction, speak with wisdom. But if the answer is no, perhaps the Nafs is asking for applause. This is where you say, As-Salam, and ask Allah to protect the heart from needing every human being to agree with you. There is another powerful thief of peace hidden here, the need to be understood. You explain yourself once, they still misunderstand. You explain again, they still do not see it. Now the Nafs becomes desperate. How can they think this about me? So you keep explaining until you are exhausted. But the Awliya understood that not every mind is yours to correct. Some people will understand you, some will misunderstand you. Some may never know the entire story. This does not mean clarification never matters. But once you have spoken sincerely and done what is responsible, there comes a point when peace requires release. Allah knows. Sometimes those two words must become enough. The Nafs hates being misunderstood because misunderstanding wounds its image. But if your entire peace depends upon everyone having the correct image of you, you will spend your life managing other people's minds. That is impossible. Say, As-Salam, and remember, my responsibility is sincerity. I cannot control every interpretation. This is freedom. The Awliya also understood that anger often survives because the Nafs keeps feeding it with memory. Every time you replay the insult, the body experiences part of the anger again. Every time you imagine what you should have said, the argument starts again inside you. The person may have moved on, but your Nafs is still hosting them inside your mind. Who is suffering now? Not them, you. This is why sometimes forgiveness is not only about what another person deserves. It is about refusing to let their action continue occupying your heart. Forgiveness does not always mean reconciliation. It does not always mean returning to the same relationship. It does not mean pretending wrong was right. Sometimes forgiveness simply means, I will no longer keep drinking this anger every day. This is where As-Salam becomes a prayer for inner release. Say, As-Salam, tahhir qalbi min al-ghadabi wal-kibr. O As-Salam, purify my heart from anger and pride. Then ask yourself another difficult question. How much of my anger is about what happened, and how much is because my ego felt disrespected? Sometimes the answer will surprise you. The Awliya understood that an insult becomes much larger when the Nafs already believes it deserves constant honor from people. The ego says, how dare they speak to me like that? Humility says, what response will please Allah now? That change of question changes the entire direction of the moment. And this is important because many people think peace means never becoming angry. That is not realistic. Anger can arise naturally. The spiritual work begins with what you do after anger appears. Does anger take control of your tongue? Does it make you cruel? Does it keep you awake for 3 nights? Does it make you expose someone's secrets? Does it make you say things you would never say in a calm state? The Nafs wants anger to become permission. The heart remembers Allah and makes anger a test. This is where As-Salam can interrupt the reaction. Before replying, pause. Before sending the message, pause. Before posting something publicly, pause. Before calling another person to tell them the entire story, pause. Say, As-Salam. Sometimes 10 seconds between feeling and reaction can save years of regret. The Awliya understood that peace often lives inside that pause. The ego wants immediate reaction because reaction protects pride. But the heart that remembers Allah gives itself enough space to ask, will I still be proud of these words tomorrow? If not, remain silent until the nafs becomes smaller. This is not weakness. This is mastery. And the 5th transformation of As-Salam is this. The nafs believes peace will come after everybody understands you, respects you, apologizes to you, and admits you were right. But the heart eventually learns that peace can begin even while some people remain wrong about you. You do not need to win every argument. You do not need every apology. You do not need every person to recognize your value. Sometimes you simply need enough humility to say, Allah knows. Then, As-Salam, and walk away without carrying the argument with you. Because sometimes the greatest victory is not defeating the person in front of you. It is defeating the part of your nafs that refused to let the matter go. Lesson 6. As-Salam teaches the nafs to stop demanding answers for everything. There is a particular kind of exhaustion that does not come from working too much. It comes from trying to understand things that have not been given an answer yet. Why did this person suddenly change? Why did that door close? Why is my dua taking so long? What will happen next? What if I choose the wrong path? What if I lose what I love? What if my future does not become what I imagined? The nafs asks one question, then another, and because no answer feels certain enough, the mind keeps searching. You call it thinking, but hours later nothing has been solved. You are simply more tired than when you began. The Awliya understood that the nafs is deeply uncomfortable with not knowing. It would rather create a frightening answer than sit peacefully with uncertainty. Someone becomes quiet, and the nafs says, they are leaving. A door remains closed, and it says, nothing good is coming. A dua is delayed, and it says, maybe I have been forgotten. Tomorrow is uncertain, and it says, something must be wrong. Notice what happened. You did not receive an answer, so the nafs invented one. And usually, it invented the answer that frightened you most. This is where the 6th secret of As-Salam begins. As-Salam, As-Salam. The remembrance of As-Salam teaches the heart something the nafs finds extremely difficult to accept. You do not need to know everything in order to be at peace. Read that again inside your heart. You do not need to know everything. You need to know what Allah has made your responsibility, act upon what you can control, and trust Him with what remains hidden. There is a huge difference between seeking an answer because an answer is necessary and obsessing over an answer because uncertainty makes your ego uncomfortable. If you need information to make a decision, seek it. If you need advice, ask trustworthy people. If you made a mistake, investigate it and learn. If there is a real problem, take action. But after you have done what can reasonably be done, there comes a point where more thinking no longer produces wisdom, it only produces noise. The Awliya understood that the Nafs often disguises anxiety as preparation. It says, "I am just trying to be ready." But ask yourself, ready for what? If you have been thinking about the same possibility for 3 hours and have discovered nothing new, perhaps you are no longer preparing. Perhaps you are rehearsing fear. This is one of the most important distinctions for the restless mind. Preparation asks, what can I do? Anxiety asks, what if? Preparation eventually produces action. Anxiety produces another question. Preparation has an ending. The Nafs can continue what if forever. What if I lose my job? Then what if I cannot find another? Then what if my savings disappear? Then what if people stop respecting me? Then what if my entire life changes? Within minutes, your mind has traveled years into a future that does not exist before you, and your body begins responding as if all of it has already happened. The Awliya understood that this is where the servant must learn to interrupt the Nafs. Stop. Ask, what is actually happening right now? Perhaps right now you still have the job. Perhaps right now the person has simply not replied. Perhaps right now the door is merely uncertain. Perhaps right now the problem you are suffering exists only as a possibility. Then ask, is there something useful I can do about this today? If yes, do it. If no, return it to Allah. As-Salam. This is not laziness. This is not ignoring responsibility. This is understanding the boundary between your effort and Allah's decree. The Nafs wants control over both. Tawakkul teaches you to handle your part and surrender what was never yours. This is why some people become exhausted, even after doing everything correctly. They made the plan, they took precautions, they asked for advice, they made the decision. But after doing all of that, they continue mentally checking the future, as though enough worrying might guarantee the outcome. It cannot. Worry does not become control simply because you do more of it. That realization can be liberating. You may not control what happens next, but you can control whether you spend tonight suffering over 10 possibilities that may never happen. Say, As-Salam, and allow the heart to remember, Allah knows what I do not know. That sentence is not a weakness, it is relief. You do not know what tomorrow contains. Allah knows. You do not know every intention hidden inside another person's heart. Allah knows. You do not know which door will eventually open. Allah knows. You do not know exactly how your risk will reach you next year. Allah knows. You do not know how every dua will unfold. Allah knows. So why is the Nafs demanding from you knowledge that belongs to Allah? This is one of the hidden roots of restlessness. The Nafs wants to sit in a position it was never created to occupy. It wants complete knowledge, complete certainty, complete control. And when it cannot have them, it panics. But the servant says, I am not Allah. I do not know the unseen. I do not control every outcome, and I no longer need to pretend that I do. There is enormous peace in accepting your position as a servant. You plan, but Allah knows what the plan cannot see. You choose, but Allah knows where every choice leads. You ask, but Allah knows what should arrive and when. You walk as far as your sight allows, and then you trust the one whose knowledge has no boundary. This is why As-Salam becomes especially powerful when the mind demands certainty. Not because repeating the name gives you secret knowledge of tomorrow, but because remembrance teaches you that peace does not require secret knowledge of tomorrow. Perhaps you are waiting for someone's answer right now. The Nafs keeps checking. It interprets every minute of silence. What does this mean? Maybe it means something. Maybe it means nothing, until you actually know. Why allow imagination to punish you? Perhaps you are waiting for a decision. You keep checking your phone. You replay every possible outcome. But until the answer arrives, the mind cannot force reality to reveal itself early. So return to As-Salam. Perhaps you are making dua about something deeply important, and you desperately want to know when relief will come. Continue asking Allah. Continue taking the means available to you. But do not turn uncertainty into evidence that Allah has abandoned you. The Awliya understood that silence is not proof of absence, delay is not proof of rejection, and uncertainty is not proof that something terrible is coming. Sometimes you simply do not know yet. And I do not know yet is a complete sentence. The Nafs hates it, but the peaceful heart can survive it. Make this dua. Ya Salam, Selim Galbi Warzukni Tawakkul Alayk. O As-Salam, grant peace to my heart and grant me reliance upon you. Then practice something simple. When the mind asks a question you cannot answer, do not immediately invent an answer. Say, Allah knows, I will act when there is something for me to act upon. Then return to what is actually in front of you. Your salah, your work, your family, your responsibility, your breath, your present moment. Because while your nafs is trying to live tomorrow, today is quietly disappearing. How many meals have you eaten without tasting them because you were worrying about something else? How many conversations have you barely heard because your mind was somewhere in the future? How many nights have you lost to events that never happened? How many blessings passed unnoticed because the nafs was searching for certainty about the next blessing? This is the price of living ahead of yourself. The Awliya understood that remembrance returns the servant to the moment where worship is actually possible. You cannot pray tomorrow's salah today. You cannot solve next year's problems tonight. You cannot live a future that Allah has not yet opened, but you can remember Allah now. Ya Salam. And slowly the heart learns. I do not know what comes next, but I know where to return when I am afraid of it. That is deeper than certainty, because certainty about one problem would only calm you until the next uncertainty appeared. But learning how to return to Allah gives you somewhere to stand through every uncertainty. This is the sixth transformation of Ya Salam. The nafs believes peace comes from knowing what will happen, while the heart discovers that peace comes from trusting the one who already knows. You do not need the whole map. You need enough light for the next step. Take that step and leave the unseen with Allah. Lesson 7. The deepest peace begins when the nafs stops demanding that life obey it. After all the overthinking, all the fear, all the arguments, all the unanswered questions, the Awliya understood that there is one final root beneath much of the restlessness of the nafs. It wants life to obey it. Think about how quietly this happens. The nafs creates a private contract with life. This person must stay. This door must open. This dua must be answered in the way I expect. People must understand me. My future must follow my plan. I must not lose what I love. I must know what happens next. And whenever reality breaks one of those hidden conditions, peace disappears. This is why sometimes the problem itself is not what destroys you. It is the sentence inside you saying, "This should not be happening to me." The Awliya understood that the nafs does not only suffer from difficulty, it suffers from resistance to difficulty. You lose something, and there is the natural pain of loss. But then the nafs adds another layer. This cannot be happening. Why me? My life was supposed to be different. I cannot be okay unless this changes. Now you are carrying the event and fighting its existence at the same time. This is where Ya Salam reaches its deepest meaning. Ya Salam, As-Salam. At the beginning of this journey, perhaps you wanted this dhikr simply because you wanted your mind to become quiet. But now the question becomes deeper. What if your mind cannot remain peaceful because your nafs keeps demanding control over things that were never placed under its control? That is where surrender begins. Surrender does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you become passive. It does not mean you accept injustice without action or abandon your responsibilities. You still work, you still plan, you still protect yourself, you still make dua, you still seek what is good. But something changes inside you. You stop saying, Allah, my peace depends upon you giving me exactly what I have decided I need. And you begin saying, O Allah, I will ask you sincerely for what I desire, but do not let my desire become greater than my trust in you. That is the beginning of freedom from the nafs. Because the nafs does not simply want things, it wants guarantees. If it loves someone, it wants a guarantee they will never leave. If it has wealth, it wants a guarantee it will never decrease. If it has health, it wants a guarantee it will never change. If it has respect, it wants a guarantee nobody will criticize it. If it has a plan, it wants a guarantee nothing unexpected will happen. But where in the dunya will you find those guarantees? People change, bodies change, circumstances change. Money comes and goes, doors open and close. Plans succeed and fail. The dunya itself is changing. So if your peace depends upon everything temporary remaining exactly as you want it, your peace will always remain fragile. This is why the Awliya did not try to build permanent peace upon temporary things. They turned the heart toward Allah. As-Salam. There is another subtle trap here. Sometimes the nafs even tries to turn dhikr into control. It says, if I repeat this enough, perhaps I can force the exact outcome I want. But remembrance of Allah is not a way of commanding Allah. The purpose of dhikr is not to make Allah obey the nafs. It is to teach the nafs to remember Allah. That distinction changes everything. When you say, As-Salam, you are not telling Allah, make every person behave the way I want. You are asking, O As-Salam, give me the wisdom to deal with people without losing myself. You are not saying, guarantee that nothing painful will happen tomorrow. You are asking, O As-Salam, if tomorrow brings something difficult, keep my heart connected to you. You are not saying, make my entire life perfect so I never feel anxious again. You are saying, O As-Salam, purify the part of me that believes peace requires perfection. Now the dhikr is reaching the root. The Awliya understood that there is a huge difference between asking Allah to remove every storm and asking Allah to make the heart firm enough not to lose Him inside the storm. Sometimes the storm ends, Alhamdulillah. Sometimes the problem is solved, Alhamdulillah. Sometimes the door opens, Alhamdulillah. But what happens when it does not happen immediately? Does your relationship with Allah collapse? This is where the condition of the nafs becomes visible. The nafs says, I will trust when I receive. The heart says, I will trust while I wait. The nafs says, I will have peace when I understand. The heart says, Allah understands even when I do not. The nafs says, I will relax when I control the outcome. The heart says, I will do my part and entrust the outcome to Allah. That is Tawakkul. And there is something even deeper. Perhaps you have spent years trying to arrange the outside world so perfectly that nothing can disturb you. You avoided certain people, you pursued more money, you looked for more security, you tried to predict problems before they happened, you tried to become strong enough that nobody could hurt you again. But eventually you discover there is no arrangement of the dunya that removes every possibility of pain. You cannot create a life in which nobody leaves. You cannot create a life in which nothing changes. You cannot create a life in which every dua is answered exactly according to your preferred timing. You cannot create a life where everyone understands you. You cannot create a life where uncertainty disappears completely. So perhaps peace requires something other than perfect circumstances. Perhaps the heart needs a place to return when circumstances are imperfect. This is why As-Salam is not merely for the quiet moments. It is for the moment your plan breaks. It is for the moment someone disappoints you. It is for the night you do not know what tomorrow contains. It is for the moment the Nafs begins demanding answers that have not been given. It is for the moment you feel the old anger returning. It is for the moment you are tempted to chase someone simply because your ego cannot tolerate their absence. And in those moments, the Awliya understood that the real question is not always, how do I make this situation disappear? Sometimes the deeper question is, how do I prevent this situation from taking me away from Allah? That question changes suffering. Now the problem may still be present, but it no longer has permission to own your entire heart. This is the kind of peace the Nafs does not understand. The Nafs thinks peace means no problems, but spiritual peace can mean there is a problem, but Allah is still greater. The Nafs thinks peace means nobody hurt me, but spiritual peace can mean they hurt me, but I will not allow their action to decide who I become. The Nafs thinks peace means I know what happens next, but spiritual peace can mean I do not know what happens next, but I know Allah knows. The Nafs thinks peace means I received what I wanted, but spiritual peace can mean I asked sincerely and now I trust Allah with the answer. This is why the deepest peace is not weakness. It requires enormous inner strength. Anyone can feel peaceful when everything is going according to plan, but what happens when the plan changes? That reveals what the heart was standing upon. If one person's departure destroys your entire identity, perhaps too much of your heart was standing upon that person. If one financial setback destroys your entire sense of security, perhaps the Nafs had begun treating wealth as though wealth itself controlled your future. If one person's criticism makes you question your entire worth, perhaps too much of your identity was living inside people's opinions. The disturbance reveals the attachment, and this is where As-Salam becomes a mirror. When your peace disappears, do not only ask, what happened? Also ask, what did this reveal about what my heart was depending upon? That question is uncomfortable, but it can transform you. Perhaps the argument revealed your need to be right. Perhaps the rejection revealed your need to be chosen. Perhaps the delay revealed your need to control timing. Perhaps another person's success revealed comparison. Perhaps the uncertainty revealed how much you depend upon guarantees. Perhaps the loss revealed that something temporary had become too central in your heart. The Awliya did not run from these discoveries. They used them to purify the Nafs. This is the deeper work. Because if you only remove the external trigger without treating the attachment, another trigger will eventually produce the same restlessness. You may leave one person, but become dependent upon another. You may solve one financial fear, but create another. You may win one argument, but need to win the next. You may receive one answer, but immediately become anxious about another question. So As-Salam must reach deeper. As-Salam, O As-Salam, do not merely quiet the noise around me. Quiet the rebellion inside me. Quiet the part of me that believes everybody must approve of me. Quiet the part of me that believes tomorrow must explain itself today. Quiet the part of me that keeps reopening yesterday. Quiet the part of me that believes more dunya will finally satisfy what only closeness to you can settle. Quiet the part of me that needs to win. Quiet the part of me that cannot surrender. And then something beautiful begins happening. You still have desires, but desires stop controlling you. You still make plans, but plans stop becoming idols. You still love people, but you stop making them responsible for your entire peace. You still pursue success, but another person's success no longer feels like your failure. You still experience anger, but anger no longer automatically controls your tongue. You still feel uncertainty, but uncertainty no longer forces you to imagine disaster. The Nafs still speaks, but you no longer obey everything it says. That is a different kind of peace. The Awliya understood that peace is not always the disappearance of inner noise. Sometimes peace is knowing which voice inside you does not deserve obedience. The Nafs says, react. You pause. The Nafs says, chase them. You remain dignified. The Nafs says, compare yourself. You say Alhamdulillah for what Allah gave another person. The Nafs says, imagine the worst. You return to what is actually happening now. The Nafs says, you must know what comes next. You answer, Allah knows. And perhaps those two words contain more peace than the 100 answers you were chasing. Allah knows. Allah knows what you lost. Allah knows what you fear. Allah knows what you need. Allah knows what you cannot explain to anyone. Allah knows the future that keeps frightening you. Allah knows the dua you have repeated when nobody was listening. Allah knows. You were never required to carry His knowledge. You were required to carry your servanthood. So make your effort, make your dua, take the next right step, then let tomorrow remain tomorrow. This is where you say, As-Salam, and make this dua, As-Salam. Sallim qalbi min kulli ma yub'a'annak, warzuqni sakinata wa tawakkul alayk. O As-Salam, protect my heart from everything that takes me away from you, and grant me tranquility and reliance upon you. Then stop for a moment. Think about the one thing currently stealing most of your peace. A person? A decision? Money? Your future? Something from the past? An unanswered dua? Now ask yourself, have I done what Allah has actually made my responsibility? If the answer is no, then act. Apologize. Prepare. Work. Seek advice. Set the boundary. Make the decision carefully. Correct what can be corrected. But if you have already done what belongs to you, perhaps your next act of worship is not another hour of overthinking. Perhaps it is surrender. As-Salam. And this is the 7th transformation. At the beginning, the Nafs says, when everything around me finally becomes the way I want, I will have peace. But after remembrance, struggle, and surrender, the heart begins saying, my life does not need to become perfect before I return to Allah. That is where the entire anatomy of As-Salam leads. Your peace cannot permanently live inside another person's hands. It cannot permanently live inside money. It cannot live inside perfect circumstances. It cannot live inside certainty about tomorrow. It cannot live inside winning every argument. It cannot live inside rewriting yesterday. All of those things change. So the Awliya turned the heart toward the one who does not, Allah. And when the dunya became loud, the servant whispered, As-Salam. When the Nafs demanded control, As-Salam. When tomorrow became frightening, As-Salam. When yesterday returned, As-Salam. When people misunderstood, As-Salam. When the answer remained hidden, As-Salam. Until eventually the servant understood. The deepest peace does not begin when the dunya finally stops changing. It begins when the heart stops asking the dunya to give what only closeness to Allah can provide. Perhaps your life is not going to become completely quiet today. The person may not change, the answer may not arrive tonight, tomorrow may still be uncertain, and yesterday cannot be rewritten. But the Awliya understood something the Nafs struggles to accept. You do not need control over everything to have peace with Allah. When your mind runs toward tomorrow, return to As-Salam. When your Nafs reopens yesterday, As-Salam. When people disturb your heart, when answers remain hidden, and when life refuses to follow your plan, As-Salam. Do what belongs to you, and entrust what does not to Allah. Make this final dua, As-Salam. Anzilis sakinata fi qalbi warzuqni tawakkul alayk. O As-Salam, place tranquility in my heart and grant me complete reliance upon you. If this reminder reached your heart, subscribe to Whispers of the Awliya and write As-Salam in the comments. May Allah purify our nafs, quiet what is restless within us, and give our hearts a peace that does not disappear every time the dunya changes. As-Salam. Because perhaps peace was never waiting for your whole life to become perfect. Perhaps your heart simply needed to remember where to return,